adventure of Abram and Sarai? For God promised Abram and that his family would be as numerous as the stars. Well, in this story, God appears to Abram again and reminds him of the promised son. How exciting is that? So let's get started. Many years passed. Abram and Sarai were still waiting for the promised son. They waited and sorry. Hello? Oh, sorry about that. It's a super long wait. Just like you wait for your birthday or your favorite holiday to come. Then one day God appeared to Abram once again and told him, I am God Almighty, and I will multiply you greatly. God was so serious about his promise that he changed Abram's name to Abraham, which means father of a great multitude. Now, multitude means father of a lot of people, and, well, like a father of like a city, or you know what I mean. God also changed Sarah's name to, drumroll please, Sarah, which means princess. God said, I will bless her and I will give a son by her. She will be the mother of nations and kings. Then something incredible happened. Even though Abraham and Sarah were very old, they had a baby boy. Can you imagine that? It was like a surprise party they never really expected. Abraham was 100 years old and Sarah was 90 years old. Wow, that's really old for having a baby. They named the baby Isaac, which means laughter, because everyone was so happy and surprised that they had finally had a baby. It was like the best surprise ever. Can you see how God always keeps his promises? Now, imagine the joy in their home when little Isaac was born. It was like a big party with lots of laughter and happiness. But there's a twist. There was another boy in the family named Ishmael. He was there before Isaac was born. The birth of Ishmael happened because Sarah thought she couldn't have a son with Abram. So she gave her servant Hagar to Abram to be his wife. So Ishmael's mom was Hagar. Abram was 86 years old when Ishmael was born. But Ishmael was not the son that God promised to Abram. Isaac was the son that God promised. So my little explorers, here's the verse to trust. Now the Lord was gracious to Sarah as he had said. And the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah had become pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age. At that very time, God had promised him, Abraham named their son Isaac. Genesis 21 verses 1 through 3. In this story of Genesis 21, it is all about how God kept his promise to Abraham and Sarah and gave them a special baby named Isaac, bringing so much joy to their lives. It's a story about surprises and finding happiness when you least expect it. It also reminds us that God watches over us and takes care of our families. And that, my little Bible explorers, is the happy and magical story of Genesis 21. Now, here's some real applications. But before we get to that, there's a little something I want to say. So you know how for Bible and Adventures we've only been doing the Old Testament? Wow. Once we finish Abraham, we just might do the New Testament. If you really want to do the New Testament, then I hope you like watching Bible and Adventures. Let's get to real applications. 1. Patience and faith. Abraham and Sarah waited a long time for a child, and I mean a long time. This story teaches that sometimes we need a patience and faith when waiting for something important in our lives, whether it's family, a health recovery, or a restored relationship. This story encourages us to be patient and trust that God's timing is perfect. Like, if it's your birthday and your friends got you a present but they won't give it to you yet, that's because they're waiting just for the right time to give it to you, the day of your birthday. 2. God's faithfulness. This story shows how God keeps his promises in our lives. When we can trust that God will be faithful to his promises, even when things seem impossible. Believing in God's assurance can give us hope and confidence. 3. Gratitude. Sarah and Abraham were overjoyed when Isaac was born. This joy reminds us to be grateful for the blessing in our lives, whether it's the birth of a child or small moments of happiness. By applying these real-life applications into our lives, we can learn from God's example of keeping promises in our own lives. We should strive to keep our promises to others and be people of integrity. These universal themes of patience, faith, family, love, and gratitude can be present and put in practice daily to strengthen our spiritual walk with God. Now, explorers, I hope you enjoyed the video. Keep exploring the Bible. Bye-bye.